So if you played animaljam in the heyday of 2016 to about 2018, you definitely have heard of the name Skorm. Probably not a channel that looks like this. Probably more like this, right? The blue Arctic Wolf guy. Yeah, you know him. Yeah, he's kind of a terrible person. Yeah, every animaljam YouTuber ended up being a pretty bad person. Who would have thought? Let's talk about him. He was one of the very few animaljam YouTubers back in the day to reach over 100,000 subscribers. He was a immensely popular person, going from videos to videos with hundreds of thousands of views, live streaming, lots of money involved, not just from videos, but also from selling items. That was his biggest controversy back in the day, of the fact that he was selling items among a few other of his YouTube friends at the time. However, back then, Skorm was doing a lot more nefarious and, quite honestly, pretty repulsive things that we are going to be discussing in today's video. While Skorm hasn't recently been active under his YouTube channel name in the recent years of animaljam, you know, I'm surprised he didn't try to revive it to switch it to Minecraft again. I do believe the last appearance he made under the Skorm username was back in 2021 under streams and stuff, but those are no longer public, so I can't show them. But since then, he has had a failed SoundCloud career. Yes, that is another person to the list you can put as a failed SoundCloud rapper that was previously an animaljam YouTuber. Getting uncomfortable how many of those old animaljam YouTubers are turning into failed rappers. It's kind of weird. But let's talk about some of these things that Skorm got up to behind the scenes. Brief trigger warning. There will be a lot of uncomfortable and sensitive topics being discussed in this video. This is your trigger warning now. If these things are triggering for you, I would recommend this is probably not the video for you. And if you're wondering why I'm talking about this now, that's because Skorm has came back recently under a different username, which we'll be discussing later on in the video. So first of all, I would say a lot of these things that I'm about to discuss definitely got overshadowed by the bigger exposed topic of him selling items back in the day. And while I don't really care about this right now, I don't really care what you guys think about selling items, if you think it's bad or not, or whatever the hell. I don't know if he meticulously used this controversy to overshadow the other things that were being talked about him behind the scenes at the time or not, because people definitely did try to expose these behaviors and actions that he took back in the day, but they were swallowed up by the fact that he sold items. And he was banned from the game. Like, every account he made was getting banned for quite a while until he kind of forced his way back onto the game just by using his audience to pretty much send attacks onto animaljam's Instagram page. It was kind of stupid. And the last known Skorm account he had was SKRMM, which is not the account he returned under, by the way. Funnily enough, he ended up selling this account too, I'm pretty sure, from what I was told. Either way, he sold items again still after the fact that he came back. So if you didn't think he used his audience enough as is for items, he used it even more and sold items even more. Not to mention him scamming his audience and hacking other people as well, that he also ended up selling items of, which is kind of ridiculous. But now we're going to be talking about the more serious things here. I figured I'd mention those stuff because people are going to be talking about it anyway. First I'm going to talk about here is the many Discord servers Skorm owned. Matter of fact, I've personally been in some of these, and the things people sent in there are genuinely repulsive, and I cannot believe that someone like Skorm, who had such a big audience, misused it in such a terrible way. If you go to his YouTube channel, you'll see numerous videos of him advertising Discord servers he owned, and every single one of these he deleted eventually, but in these servers he platformed people that would straight up bully other members, would dox and DDoS other members, would post NSFW content, post straight up illegal content, and also, well, do illegal things in there. And Skorm was not innocent of this himself. He was guilty of a lot of these things as well, not only entertaining other people in doing it, but also engaging in it himself. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these Discord servers were taken down by Discord themselves. That is the amount of things that went on in this server. And while I personally know about a lot of these things because I've seen them and heard about them from other animaljam YouTubers back in the day as well, I do want to give a spotlight to Try AJ's video in this video as well, where she detailed and documented a lot of these things that got on in these servers, but also her own account of her own experience with Skorm, which I definitely think should be known by the wider public. While a lot of people, as I said, do know about these things about Skorm, I don't think a vast majority of people do. And I definitely don't think a lot of people would have watched Skorm back in the day if they knew the kind of things he got up to, especially what we're about to talk about. So in her video, the screenshot here was posted of someone who says he posted inappropriate photos, we'll say, of them as a minor. And Skorm was, I'm pretty sure, an adult at this time. This is not only illegal, but it's also extremely violating, of course. And this didn't just happen once, by the way, because I know of another time he did it, and it's a different person from the one that was in this video he did it to. So he did this multiple times where he got these photos in whatever way of these people and then also started to redistribute it to people in his server and even set it as his profile photo at some points. Yes, he set NSFW photos of somebody as his profile picture and sent it around in his Discord server. Unsolicited, by the way. He would just randomly send it to people. It's genuinely abhorrent and disgusting, okay? And the fact that it was repeated behavior is even worse. And unfortunately, it only gets worse from here. As much as I hate to have to talk about this, he showed genuine predatory behavior towards multiple people of his community and audience. And there's genuinely no other way of beating around the bush here. He is a genuine pedophile. Like, I know that's a bold thing to say, but he is a genuine pedophile. He not only used multiple members of his audience for NSFW things. I know I'm not being exactly specific in what that entails, but YouTube will take this down if I genuinely detail every account. Just very explicit things, right? Not only did he misuse his platform and take advantage of his audience like that, in some regards, or in some instances, he even offered items to some of these people for exchange of photos, which is not only like extremely concerning, but like it's just repulsive to see. And this gets even worse, by the way. Now, again, I'm gonna reference Try AJ's video here. I'll put a clip in what I'm talking about here. I really recommend you watch her full video and her account of what Skorm did to her, because it really does shine a light on the kind of monster he is. There's no other way of describing it. Like, this is straight up monstrous behavior. But not only, from what I know, he dated her when she was a minor as well. He manipulated her into doing explicit things, we'll say, when she didn't want to, numerous times, and, you know, mentally abused her, mistreated her, just genuinely a horrible person to her. She also detailed the fact that, we'll say a half a year ago, I'll estimate, one of his current girlfriends reached out to her to ask if they were still in touch, and she was under the age of 18. She was 17, and apparently they started talking when she was 16. Skorm is 25. If you don't see the issue with that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Because a girlfriend of his had reached out to me and asked if he still talked to me. And I said no, I haven't talked to him in years. And apparently he was talking about me to her. And I went to her profile and I found out that she's only 17. And they started talking when she was 16. And immediately my world crumbled, because I was like, this is a cycle. This is a pattern behavior. This is something that he does.
And while I would like to say, like, some of this stuff is alleged, but, like, no, all of this is, like, confirmed information. And if you ask around with the right people, they will back this up. They will tell you that a lot of this is confirmed and has numerous credible stories to back up these claims, and even evidence in some cases. Skorm is genuinely a extremely vile person. He's lied about these things and he's tried to cover them up when they were kind of leaking out back in the day. But the more and more his name comes up nowadays, when people are reminiscing on old animaljam YouTubers, you will see people talking about this guy and referencing these kind of behaviors when talking about him. But now, why I'm making this video now is because he's returned to this game again and this community again, and it's, I think, more than apparent that someone like this, even if he's quote unquote changed his ways, which he hasn't, he should not be allowed back on a game, kids game mind you, full of kids with an audience full of minors. Okay, so he's returned under the name Balloon Boy 985, already giving me red lights and ringing alarm bells. In these TikTok videos, because he's returned under TikTok, he just kind of goofs around on the game. Some of these are like really weird. One of them, he pretends to be a child to somebody else and asks for their mother. I don't know why. It's really disturbing, considering he is not only a grown man doing this, nearing 30, but also given the previous context with everything in mind. But he's kind of avoided from saying that he's Skorm in some of these TikToks, and, you know, some people pointed out in the comment sections, but he's conveniently not replied to any of them. From what I know, he has asked some people, or some people's asked him in game if it's him, and he's confirmed it to them. Not to mention one of his old Discord accounts, he's changed the name to just Balloon Boy 985, which he did that in the middle of making this video, which I think is kind of funny, just in case you don't think it's him already. Not only that, he has tried to downplay and just straight up lied about some of the things that I've just talked about. He said, well, he wouldn't be here if it wasn't true. Okay, well, let's look up one of his accounts then. Oh, well, isn't that weird? Well, what does that mean for you then, Skorm? Does this mean you're lying? But jokes aside, it is probably a better thing that his account has been banned before I even made this video, or before the wider community knew he was back. Really trying to snuff out any kind of momentum he is trying to gain, because I know for a fact he's still the same guy that he used to be. Because even recently, earlier this year, he was showing these behaviors still. Still even harassing victims of his, even including Try, which I hate to even have to make this video and bring him up again, because I know she's definitely tired and hates hearing about him, as well as any of the other victims of his that are still around in the game and community. They don't want to hear about this guy. They don't want to see him, and I think it should go without saying that he shouldn't be allowed in the community. A community full of children, impressionable children as well, that he had an audience of, misused his audience, misused his platform, took advantage of his audience in the most disgusting and reprehensible ways that I don't care if he's gone through how many chances he has gone through. He should be not allowed back under any circumstances anymore. Any kind of place he had in this game and community should be void and null. He should legitimately get lost at this point. And this isn't even accounting for like his years worth of use of slurs, be racist, homophobic, transphobic. To be honest, he's pretty much said every slur under the sun. It would probably be easier to find the ones he hasn't said than the ones he has said. Figured I would mention that. That's not like a cherry on the cake, I guess. Yeah, I usually hate making videos like this, you know, where it's talking about a certain bad actor in the community and stuff, but I really do think that the community does good when banding together and kind of exiling these people out of it. And I think this is a case where this doesn't need to happen. But also, I know personally, back when I was watching animaljam videos as a kid, I didn't know some of the kind of things and sketchy stuff all of these animaljam YouTubers used to be getting up to behind the scenes, because they were misusing their platforms in kind of ways like this. That I think it's good that I actually use my platform now to uplift victims like this and put more light on their stories, because they need to be heard, and without a doubt shows this support to some of them as well. If you have your own experience and story with Skorm as well, I recommend you put it in the comments. You know, we are here for you type of thing. And this platform that I built on here on YouTube, it is as much as mine as it is yours. You guys helped me build it, so I think it's the only right thing to do to expose people like this when these things do happen. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Hopefully I don't have to make another video like this. But when the time comes, you'll see it.